me when you are all alone. Maybe the one who is waiting for you will prove untrue. Then what will you do?
And welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to yet another episode of the memoryBYTES show video stream podcast. Today we'll be doing memoryBYTES. memoryBYTES, which is games from yore that left a impression on us, and we wanted to capitalize a bit on some recent news out of E3. So today we'll be playing Fallout, the original Fallout, Fallout 1. Joining me today, as ever, Mr. Jeremy Lawman Lamont.
Hello, hail and well met. I think that's this kind of RPG, right? Lots of hailing and well metting.
Yeah, no.
Swords and elves, pointy ears in this, right?
There's probably swords. There's lots of pointy sticks. There's lots of rats and sand. There's guns. So Fallout is, if you're uninitiated, a tactical RPG from, boy, I don't even remember when. 1997. It says down here in the copyright on the main menu. And it's turn-based combat. It's one of the legendary games. I don't know. But the setting is post-apocalyptic, so the China and the United States have realized the effects of a nuclear war, and people were loaded up in these fallout shelters called vaults, and now they're back out on the surface, kind of slowly, and you have to make your way. And I believe in this game you're trying to save your vault from, some impending destruction. I don't even know, but it's been a really long time since I played these games.
That's good for me because I'm super uninitiated. I have never played a Fallout game, ever. I own the first one and the second one on my GOG account. I'm pretty sure I've got some other Fallouts around the house here somewhere.
Yeah.
But aside from seeing still images in magazines in the 90s, I'm not even sure I've seen this thing actually in motion. So this is going to be going to be a pretty new thing for me.
We're going to learn you a thing or two. I was playing it. It's been a really long time since I've sat down and played Fallout 1 or 2 in earnest. I played both. I don't want to say right when they came out. 97 sounds too long ago for me, but it was probably just a couple of years after that, while they were still fresh. While 640 by 320 or whatever the default resolution was still a happening thing. CRTs were blasting radiation straight into your pupils and all that good stuff. So. So yeah,
let's go ahead and get it started, and
might as well. And I actually have
talk about it as we go.
I have a save. I kind of started just a little bit into the game, so we don't have to watch a bunch of cutscenes. You should definitely watch them. The story is great. I remember really being in love with it when I played the first time. And beyond that, it's just a really engaging world, like you'd expect from an RPG. So I'm actually in a town of Shady Sands. It does not look shady whatsoever. But you can see here I am, the Vault Dweller, I believe they call him in this game, from Vault 13. You can see it on my little jacket. And there's these kids running around. Kids, you actually have to patch the kids in, I believe. They were removed for sensibility's sake, I guess. I don't know.
I like how they're just flailing around, like they're running like they're...
It's pretty realistic, right? Like, that's what my kids do. They just kind of flail, and so we can talk to him. Let's ask where his parents are. Around here somewhere. Okay, great. Great.
So I'll just, while you're kind of navigating around and kind of looking at some things here, I just want to mention I'm looking through the manual. So on the website GOG.com, which is a website on the internet, goodoldgames.com, they actually provide you with a lot of the original reference materials. So I'm looking through the manual and also looking at the character on screen here in kind of in comparison to the new Fallout 4 and some of the material we've seen. I have to say I'm pretty impressed with the consistency of some of the style of things. Like the manual has the Pip-Boy, the little what would you call him? Like an instructional avatar who teaches you how to use different abilities and things. And, he's
what's it? He has a name. That little guy that you always see doing the thumbs up thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Like not the Fallout
he's
Boy.
like
That's like a
the
Terrible's '90s band or something.
Well, I was calling him Pip-Boy. Is that wrong?
Maybe, I don't know.
Is that something else? But the illustrations look. I mean, in this game, 20 years ago, the illustrations look pretty much the same as you see in promotional material currently, and in the games that they release now, and all of of course the 1950s looking stuff. So one of the things about Fallout is that it's not just post-apocalyptic, but it's retro future post-apocalyptic.
Yes, it's actually set in the future.
Right, it's in the future, but it's the future of like the 1950s. Something like that.
Take the 50s, transport it to the year 2073 or whatever. Give people lasers, and everything's powered by nuclear energy, and there you have it. Very strange.
Yeah, and so all the vaults and stuff. I mean, that comes from the sort of isolationist Soviet. Like just the paranoia of nuclear. So this basically is assuming, okay, so what happens then if all of those nuclear Holocaust fears actually come to pass?
Yeah, exactly.
So I guess just kind of looking at the play right now. Now, of course, this is a different style. So starting a few years ago with Fallout 3, it became. I mean, now we think of it as a first-person sort of semi-action role-playing game. This is fully isometric, third-person.
Fully isometric. Of course, a 2D game, sprite-based. There's no rotating or zooming or anything. Much in the vein of the BioWare games like Baldur's Gate, etc. So here I am. I am at Vault 15. I've traveled, so you can see. You kind of get an idea for. The map. So this is actually what the overworld map looks like. And you can kind of move around. You see my little guy moving from place to place, and then I can go in here. And here I am in the middle of the desert with nothing to do. But maybe there's something I can check out up here. Looks like a tire. You can see my little guy. He's going to run over here. Yeah, small pieces of wood. Excellent. So let's get out of here. And we'll go to Vault 15, I guess, is where I was headed. I think on the main quest, I think, is what I'm doing here. But
in PC games of the 1990s, it was not uncommon to start a game, forget what your goal was, your objective, and essentially wander aimlessly forever and ever. Do you have a set of objectives? I mean, does this tell you what you're doing, or is it so open-ended that you can pretty much just do anything that you want?
It is open-ended, and I do have objectives, and I should have equipped a weapon, and I will pull that up here in a minute when I remember.
Yo.
It's a Count Elmdor in the wild.
A Count Elmdor appears.
Oh. So you can hear, okay.
We can now.
We can hear you now, and the world can hear you. Welcome to the Game Bytes show, Dale Count Elmdor Jones. Dale agreed to come on the show tonight because I am sadly very lacking in Fallout. I'm out of my depth here a little bit, so Dale, of course, being a big fan of the series, has decided to save you all from me by telling us a little bit about Fallout.
Indeed. So,
well, it looks like you're loading video right now, according to Twitch.
Twitch. We've gotten a little further than that, but it did take us about 45 minutes to get this set up so it would actually stream. Yeah, so I actually just pulled up the Pip-Boy. You guys might not see it quite yet, but you'll be seeing it shortly. So it's a little bit different than the modern ones. Looks a little older, first-gen model, but things to do is pinned on here. Get water chip. I have 135 days left, and I do believe if you don't do that, you end the game. I don't know.
If you're playing the most current version, that timer has been removed.
Oh, okay. So
yeah, that was the case when the game first came out. But then I think it's like patch 1.02 or something. That's no longer
the case.
Time limit.
So when I played it, that was not the case, and you could literally just run out of time. Oh dear. Well, here's where it all ends, ladies and gentlemen.
Uh-oh.
There is another time constraint situation late in the game, where if you take too long to, it's either revisit Vault 13 or go to one of the end game locations. If you take too long to do it, super mutants can overrun your vault.
that sounds like a bummer. So I just murdered a mole rat. And for our viewers' pleasure, I went ahead and took the liberty of... I don't have enough point now. Well, in comment. I took the fan favorite... let me see if I can look at my character. I bet it's this. Fan favorite bloody mess trait, which just makes people and creatures die in just really awful ways. This is just a trait that does nothing else but that. It's totally worth taking.
So I was kind of watching you fight that mole rat, and this is full-on turn-based, right?
Super turn-based. Yep. It's all. You can see I have action points down here, my hit points right here. I don't know what that is.
Man, the Twitch stream is lagging behind the audio here.
Yeah, so you'll probably want to. A little bit of a trick of Twitch is that there is a built-in 15-second delay, and so we, as the adjunct commentators, sort of have to accommodate that.
Just kind of live with it.
Yeah, what I typically
that's why this style of game works a lot better than some of the ones we've done in the past.
Yeah, and I'll try to kind of go kind of slow. I try not to dump too much spoilers on you, but for me, I just mute Twitch because it's very distracting.
Yes, correct.
So hey, one thing I think is interesting about Fallout is that how well it holds up even so many years later. I think that the interface, that the method of right-clicking to change the mode of the cursor,
I kind of like it.
It's actually something that's it's fairly unique, isn't it? So it's not like something that really dates the game, or it's not something that's really cumbersome compared to what you're kind of used to now with sort of context-aware stuff. It does work out well.
And so what the viewers are kind of seeing it now, but the little hexagon I have here is my movement cursor, and you can see it's telling me I can't move that far, or how many points it would take to move because I'm in combat. But if I right-click, it changes to, this is kind of like the selection, so I can get more info about this guy. It looks unhurt. And then if I change again, then I get my attack cursor. So now I can attack him, or this guy, or this guy. Of course, I'm going to kill the rat that's trying to take me down, and I'll make him a bloody mess because of a wonderfully selected perk. And so now I can switch again. So now I have not enough actions to fire. You can see I get an X. But I do have enough to kind of maybe move away, retreat a little if I wanted. So let's keep pressing into this vault. I'm supposed to be looking for a water chip or something to that effect. Computer is
this vault
15.
11 or whatever it is?
15.
15, yeah. It's the one that's immediately to the east of your home vault, right?
Right. They send you there right at the beginning. I actually don't remember what where I'm supposed to find this at all, so we'll just keep... It's not a very big vault, I'll have to say. I'm kind of to the end here already.
The water chip, or
yeah.
Oh yeah, that's at a completely different place. Have you been to the elevator? Over, sort of scroll the screen over to the left. And yeah, go down the elevator if you can.
You're right. Alright, let's do that.
There's one of the vaults somewhere where you have to have a rope to descend into a hole, but I don't think it's this one.
I don't believe it's this one. Oh, there we go. That's why I couldn't. I was poking around, but there we go.
Yeah,
you do need a rope.
Context-sensitive thing.
So this is the one, elevator shaft.
I played through this game.
I do need a rope.
I played through this game just last year, I think.
Well, you're way more recent than I am. It's been like I was
He
telling.
can't be more recent than you are. You're playing it literally right at this moment.
Yeah.
Well,
That's true.
technically.
Well, I'm playing it 15 seconds in the future due to the delay. So.
Yes, I am. Indeed.
You can't get more contemporary than the future.
Unless
There's a
you're
little
time
nugget of
traveling.
wisdom from. Yeah.
These pearls brought to you by the Game Byte Show. So I need a rope.
That's right.
I guess I need to go back to that town and get a rope.
Oh, did it tell you needed a rope?
It did tell me I needed a rope.
Wow. Okay.
So
Maybe it's more than one place.
yeah, Vault 15, ladies and gentlemen. Let's wander this way. Let's wander the wasteland and see what we can find. We'll probably die right here. This is
I don't
the end of
remember
it.
what you find in Vault 15, but
Well,
generally in Fallout games you can just go wherever.
we have gone wherever, and I'm now getting murdered by raiders. So this should end well.
One thing I really like about grid-based RPGs is that if you happen to move in a sort of a non-cardinal direction, you do that great zigzaggy thing, which is
Yeah.
how I always like. It's one of my wilderness survival tips: is
Oh yeah.
take
When
a
you
step
run
to the
from an
left, take a
alligator.
step to the right. I feel like
That's
I'm
what
doing
they say
the
when,
time
when you're
warp.
running from an alligator. You're supposed to run in a zigzag pattern.
It
And
confuses the alligator.
there we go.
Oh.
So I am the best. We'll jump back in. Yeah. Games from 1997 don't have autosave, folks. So keep that in mind. But we're here in town.
You know,
maybe we can find a rope.
Interestingly, it brings to mind most human skulls actually do not retain the jaw because the jaw is not held to the rest of your calvarium by bony material, but rather by ligaments and things that will rot away.
Thank you, Dr. Lamont.
That's right.
Oh, God.
I'm being encouraged by the nuggets of wisdom. So in the chat, one of the guests, Garand2010, asks, "Aren't old games like this tricky to get running on newer OSs?" And we weren't gonna mention it to the viewers, but we actually had quite a tricky time actually getting this to run at all / in a decent resolution.
So here's what happened. Running the game was actually quite easy. This is the GOG version. And I actually used GOG's new GOG Galaxy to install it, which was ridiculously simple to use. It installed fine. They have GOG, if you're not familiar with that, GOG.com, on their forums have some commonly used mods and instructions on how to install them in the best appropriate manner. So I think I installed maybe...
You mentioned that you were going to get mods for it, yeah.
Yeah, so I'm actually running this at 1280 by 1024, but the previous graphics mod I had, you could run it as high as up as 1080p, full resolution for modern monitors, which is really great. And that was really easy to do. You know, there was 5 mods, they just installed right away, no hassle. The hassle started when I wanted to stream it. So I ended up having to install a different graphics mod that allowed me to go to windowed mode. I am so lost. I need a merchant really bad.
I found
They should just do a mod that makes it into Fallout 3.
When I played this game and this and I think it was Planescape Torment, I had an upres mod that would basically what it does to accommodate high resolutions is it just zooms out the map,
Yeah.
so that it makes everything on the map smaller. So sometimes it can be tricky to highlight hotspots in the environment and things like that. And on the recent time that I played through Fallout, I just ended up doing it in like the original whatever, like 640 by 480 or whatever it was. And you just get used to how it looks after a while.
Yeah, whatever. Stop talking to me. So there is a bit of a sweet spot. So 1080p for this game was too zoomed out. Like you couldn't see anything. It was real difficult to tell what was going on. I think there's more town over this way. So that, but 1366 by 768 would probably run just fine. God, look at these kids just running rampant. Hi.
So let's talk for just a minute about what makes Fallout so great? I mean, obviously, it has some great children animations flailing and running around. But so it's obviously it's very well conceived. So just it's very unique as far as role-playing games go. The sort of post-apocalyptic, guns and that sort of thing, as opposed to your swords and sorcery, spiky-haired amnesiac teenagers saving the world kind of thing. What else? Like, what is it about this that has made it such a staple?
What always got me was the attention to detail, and I actually I could kind of test it and show you real quickly. But when I first entered this town, just before I saved it, I had my gun equipped, and the guards here at the gate don't care for that. Like, when you walk up, they immediately say, "Hey, put your gun away," basically. So I'll show you that.
Yeah, they'll be hostile to you. They won't maybe immediately attack you, but they'll definitely ask you, hey, what are you doing? And if you put your gun away, you don't get hassled like that.
Yeah, I'm wondering if I map out my band, but just little things like that. Oh, let's go to the hub. Okay, we're gonna wander the wasteland again, but little details like that. It was a great big open world. I think it was really good at allowing you to make the kind of character you wanted.
Yeah, it's got a really neat character creation system that's pretty versatile.
Lots of abilities. Looking through the manual here, just like all kinds of... I mean, stuff I imagine you could probably go through the game without ever really even using.
You never really had to use any of them, but some of them were more useful than they'd first appear, like bartering and stuff. And Survival, yeah. I actually took really low survival because I wanted... bloody mess, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, I just wanted as many random encounters. But look, here's some stuff. I got some fruit.
We have in the chat. James Ewing says that the Mark Morgan soundtrack is
that is really
something
good.
Worth. The general reactivity of the world, and he actually says that the classless system. So there are no classes that you actually adopt in this game. And he says
it's called the special system.
Yeah.
Which each of those stands for strength, perception,
strength, perception, endurance, charisma, intelligence, agility, and luck.
Yeah. And so what you can do is you can weight those to basically any number when you start a character. You can even put your intelligence down to 1.
To where you're really dumb.
The game you are I don't know what the politically correct term is anymore, but you are definitely hampered mentally, right?
Well, and I think it even changes.
All the NPCs will.
Yeah.
They'll give you shit about it and talk down to you and stuff.
Yep, it's true. And I actually buffed up my strength and intelligence, and charisma, so I'm a charming, handsome, smart devil fighter. That's what I go with. I don't know. That's what I went with. But it just has...
For me, one of the coolest things about the series is that when you start one of the Fallout games, you just have one single objective. And how you go about doing that is completely up to you, and you're left to your own devices to hunt down clues as to how to do that and pick your best method and all that.
So here we go. Right away, I come to enter Junktown, and this guard is not too happy that I walked up to him with a pistol in my hand. So I could tell him, "Don't tell me what to do, loser boy." That probably wouldn't bestow much friendship upon me. Alright, so I'll say, sounds fair. No weapons can be drawn except in self-defense. If you start a fight, it's your fault. Okay, great.
Also in the chat, Hardo Moto says that he was trying to play Arcanum the other day and his gun blew up. And
that sounds like a real drag.
Yeah, well, and it's the sort of thing where everything is based on some numbers, right? So potentially terrible things, you might just... The virtual die may roll left instead of right, and you might be eating a face full of gunpowder.
Yep. So let's... And this guy looks like a merchant. He looks like he's in charge. I like my boss. He likes his boss guys. Good. Oh, let's go talk to the jailer.
Nice Coleman ice chest there in the corner. A classic green camper's chest.
I must have missed it. We should get one.
So
are
let's
you?
let's also talk a little bit about the overall plot of the game. So we know something about this water chip, but what in fact let's go full. You know, I don't want to say full spoilers, but this game is sort of a. I mean, this is a museum piece at this point, so it's the kind of thing that should be dissected and understood. So let's actually talk just. I don't know, just about the narrative arc. I mean, the idea of the game. So you start out, and I'm assuming this is another, just like all the other games, you awaken in a vault, and it's now the future, and everything is terrible, and you go on a mission, you go on a quest.
Yeah, so your vault has a water chip that regulates the processing and purification of the water, and it's broken down. And so there's a guy who's in charge of every vault called the Overseer. And the Overseer, and I guess, some other people have chosen you to be the one they send out into the wastes to look for another water chip. Because there's a lot of these vaults around. And I guess the idea is that you can just go and maybe borrow another water chip. And that's how you get, that's what they tell you at the beginning of the game. And that's really all you know. And so you're just set out of the vault. And you kind of, I think they might have told you that you can head east and maybe find another vault, or you might have to
they tell you go
that on your own.
They actually tell you exactly where Vault 15 is. So when you start off your world map, all you know is where you started and where Vault 15 is.
Yeah. So then you get out in the wastes and just make your way around. Talk to people in towns like this and just sort of do random quests and things, and eventually, maybe even in the course of doing something else, you will probably happen upon this water chip. So in terms of the plot, what happens then is you go back to the vault, you return with the water chip, and now there are these rumors going around about like super mutants in the wastes, maybe even a purposefully manufactured army of super mutants that are going around killing people and raiding and stuff. And so the Overseer again is saying, hey, this could be a danger to us. Why don't you go out there, figure out what's going on, and try to take care of this for us. So that becomes your objective for the second half of the game. And since you've probably already been around a good portion of the world, you may have encountered some of these people or encountered some word as to where they are and why they exist and what's going on. And so you basically track down leads as to that purpose, and you end up encountering a group called the Cathedral, who are a sort of cult based around these weird sort of megalomaniacal delusions of this guy called the Mastermind, who there are these like audio log basically equivalents that you discover, and so you figure out that in the past at one point there was a group of adventurers basically who visited a military base in the north part of the map called Mariposa Research Facility or something like that.
I just want to pause here and say that I'm pretty impressed that Jerod was able to escape that particular confrontation.
It was not going well.
So, and all of this is done. All of this story, but this is all done without a party. So, no cute little dog, nothing that you see in the newer games. It's basically you versus the world.
You actually, right? you can get companions. You don't control them so much as give them an AI profile of what you want them to do. But yeah, no, there's a dog among the companions. There's a guy called Ian who's basically like a Mad Max alike. There's a few others.
Yeah, and in fact,
they're mostly pretty worthless.
Yeah, and the dog is basically it's the same dog in like all the games, if I remember.
Yeah, maybe not. It's just a dog and yeah. Dog meat.
Dog meat.
But the thing is about the companions is when they die, they're dead forever. So, and dog meat in particular, any of them basically, there's a sort of an in-game area that Mariposa Research Facility I was mentioning, where it has all these sort of like laser barrier doors that, and not only that, but there are these super high level monsters that will just kill the dog in one hit, right? So if you want to make it through the game without the dog dying, you have to do some really like creative stuff. It's basically almost not feasible.
Dang.
Not worth trying. Alright, I don't know. I don't know where to get rope. I'm sure you can find it eventually, if you're smarter
James
than
in
me.
the chat says dog meat for life, so it might be worth bending over backwards to keep your little canine friend alive.
Oh, I should have switched to my gun instead of trying to punch the rat. You guys, this is what you've come to know and expect from the Game Bytes show. But
It's true. It's true. We do excel at failure. We also just generally looks like we've been going here for how long? 20?
I don't know.
minutes
I've conveniently drug a window in front of the timer. So
is that? So the idea behind the Game Bytes show is that we like to bring you little digestible bites of games, half an hour or so at a time. We try and keep it 30 minutes, but of course it usually runs long. And so tonight, of course, we're playing the original Fallout, if you're just joining us. Of course, we also have a bi-weekly audio podcast. You may want to check us out at GameBytesShow.com, where we talk about the games we've been playing, as well as the latest news, new releases, and weekly topic. And our most recent show about E3, we just posted last night, right before all the festivities began today, so you may want to check that out.
yeah, it's no coincidence we fired up Fallout. I don't know about you guys. I am pretty excited about Fallout 4. Yeah, like Pip-Boy edition.
Yep.
Excited. Had to beg the wife, but we're gonna make that happen. It's gonna be great.
Well, that's not bad. As I said at the beginning of the show, I've never played a Fallout game. In fact, this is the most I've seen of Fallout in motion in my entire life. It's always been, magazines.
Are you tempted to give it a go? Having seen what it looks like?
Kind of tempted. Now that I've seen it, I feel like it's right up my alley. I mean, I've been playing games for a long time, and this certainly is not too different from games I've played in the past. I think it's mostly the time factor.
It's a few steps removed from like a point-and-click adventure. It's not,
Which is
it's
right up
not
my
a
alley,
point-and-click
as you know.
adventure, but it shares DNA.
Let's talk about
it's
one of
turn-based.
my favorite game series are the true hybrid adventure RPGs. So
you can just pretend like that your guy has very spiky feminine hair, and it's a JRPG suddenly.
Oh my God! Suddenly very appealing to me.
Yeah, so we've been going about 31 minutes. It took me a minute, but I did manage to check that. So we'll go ahead and call it here. This is Fallout 1, I guess, available from multiple sources. GOG.com seems like the easiest and most DRM-free that you could choose.
And well worth playing, too.
Well worth playing. The whole series well worth playing. I guess the only one I haven't played is Fallout Tactics, but I've actually been tempted to go give it a try. So maybe someone can join me in that. I've heard it's not as great as the others, but we'll see. So, thank you for
Very
joining
good.
us. Memory Bites, Episode 2, Fallout. Thank you to Dale for joining us, and Jeremy, as always.
That's right, absolutely. And as I said a few minutes ago, if you liked what you've seen tonight or would like to hear us talk more about video games, you can find our website, www.gamebytesshow.com, where you can see our latest audio episodes or subscribe either in iTunes or by RSS. You can also find us on Twitter at GameBytesShow. You can find us individually there as well if you want to cuss us out directly. You can find me at Jeremy_Lamont. You can find Jerod.
Sorry, I had muted my microphone. You can find me at red_I.
Very good.
Oh, and if you want to talk to me, I'm Count_Elmdor.
There we go. So you can find us
as
there.
always.
You can also find absent from the stream tonight. I guess since he's the only one who is not here right now, is at Legrande, Legrande, who usually takes hosting duties for our audio show as well. And other than that, again, we appreciate you joining us tonight. It looks like we've got quite a few people interested in Fallout, so it's almost a shame to cut it short, but Jerod on his own time may get back into it. So there is some hope for the future, assuming he can get it working again.
Yeah, right.
Other than that, thanks so much. Follow us and interact with us. We'd love to know what you'd like to see from us. We've got a lot of gaming background amongst the group of us. So come and find us, and until next time, we will see you and keep gaming.